What's going on, NuCanoe Nation, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. Sorry we missed you last week. I came down with COVID. Wasn't feeling too hot, so obviously we skipped the show last week. And fortunately enough, our guest tonight, Steven Reynolds, was kind enough to reschedule with us for this week. I know we're on a little bit of an off day. We're usually here Tuesday nights, but my man could only do Thursdays, so we made that work. We made it work. That's what we do here at NuCanoe. We make things work, boys and girls. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, what kind of kayak you're floating out of. We don't even care if it's not a NuCanoe. We're just glad you're here. And love seeing some faces here in the chat. We already got my man Garrett Pate in the house. I'm glad I'm feeling better too, my man. That was a rough couple of days there, but quickly got over it, feeling good, and just glad to be back here on the podcast front and chatting with one of our awesome teammates, Mr. Steven Reynolds, tonight. He hails from the great state of Georgia. And we're going to hear a little bit about him and what he does. And I know he's part of this great organization known as Veterans Kayak Fishing. So we're going to chat with him. Let's get him in here. And I feel like we should be singing you happy birthday today, bro.
Well, it is my birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy birthday, my man. How old are
Thank you. 43.
You don't look a day over 30, man. Not a day over 30.
I wish I didn't feel a day over 30.
Right on,
the
man.
hat hides a lot, man. You see that head right there? That's an over 40 head.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Well, let's get a little background on you, man. Like, I was correct, right? You are from Georgia, right?
Yeah, I was born and raised right here in Millersville. Yep.
Nice. And how'd you get into fishing and kayak fishing?
Well, I've been fishing off and on when I was a kid. My granddad actually got me into fishing. I used to go with him out on his buddy had a pontoon, but we'd go crappie fishing and stuff. And I'd done that for a long time. And then I kind of got into kayak fishing with Garrett. I know you probably heard his story when we were in Louisiana during some AT time we had. And he got to talking about kayak fishing and showing me videos of Robert Fields fishing out in the ocean. And I was like, man, it looks crazy. I'm not doing that. And the more he kept talking about it, the more fun it sounded. So I got interested just, around the same time he did. And that's kind of how I got into it. My first boat was a Wilderness Systems Radar 115. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good boat. And then I kind of just branched out from there. I had several different boats, and when I found the NuCanoes, I just kind of fell in love with them, man. I really like them a lot. I've floated Jacksons and Bonafides and stuff. I kind of swatched around until I found what I really liked, and
sure,
where I'm at now. So,
and what model are you currently in?
I have an Unlimited, which is my opinion. All the boats are great, but this one is by far my favorite.
Yeah, man, it's I'm right there with you. I've pretty much been in all the brands that you mentioned, and finally fell in love with NuCanoe, and then that Unlimited came out, and it changed the way I fished quite a bit.
It's such a stable boat, and you can just do so much with it. There's so much room to do stuff. I mean, any kind of modifications you want to do on your own, or have it, taking somebody like Westbrook Supply, where he does a great job.
Sure,
let somebody like that do it, but they're just such a user-friendly boat, in my opinion.
Yeah. You running a motor? You just pedaling?
I was running a motor on my F12, and then I had a bow mount on it, a XI3.
Sure.
And I really liked it a lot. And I'm kind of more of a river fisherman. So
yeah.
I fish lakes. They're just I'm never really that good in a lake. I'm just not. I'm just not that great in it.
All you guys down there like chasing them shoal bass. I know how it is.
I just like fishing in the river. I mean, I'll go in the Oconee here and fish some, and that's a good river to fish. That lake fishing is just hard for me, man.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's to each their own, right? It's rivers are so cool because they're always changing. You know, you get a little bit more scenery versus a bunch of houses and stuff on a lakefront and things like that.
Right.
So that's super cool. So are you a shoal bass guy? Is that like your go-to when you're going out fishing down there?
They're probably some of the more fun fish to catch down here. I mean, they're a lot of fun to chase, and they're hard to get the big girls sometimes. You know, I'm not as good as Everett, some of them guys at finding them big ones. I found a big one a time or two early on. That's probably 2 or 3 years ago. Me and Garrett were down there in, I think it's probably around February on the old Mogan. I caught a 21, or no, I'm sorry, it's a 23 quarter I caught out there.
Oh wow.
And the first one I caught was really by luck, man. I was doing something that most people do in a lake, sitting out there in the river. I had a rattle trap and I was just throwing it out, and I couldn't see the rock. It was that I was sitting in front of, because it's kind of anchored right near it. And there's a big rock there, and I threw that rattle trap out, and I was just yanking it up off the bottom. I just let it drop and yank it up, and she popped it.
Nice.
And yeah, it turned out pretty good by happenstance. At least I'm not a great fisherman. I get lucky a lot though.
I mean, sometimes that's what you gotta you gotta use, is that little lady luck,
That's right.
But no, super cool, man. And how did you get involved with the good folks over at Veterans Kayak Fishing?
So Clay and Catherine, I've known for quite a while. Me and Clay were in Delta Company 1121 here in Millersville. It's an infantry unit, and that was in probably 2007. I want to say is when I first met Clay. And me and Garrett kind of got him into the kayak fishing thing. He'd been doing like John boat fishing forever, and
Sure.
we finally talked him into getting a kayak. And he started out with an F12, and then he got into it and saw how peaceful it was to be without all that noise behind you with a motor and all that kind of stuff. He just enjoyed paddling and fishing, and the veterans kayak fishing thing. It was mostly his idea, and then he kind of ran it through us, and he's like a dog with a bone, man. He gets his mind on something, he just goes after it. So
Sure.
he got everything rolling and got the 5013C. We kind of started in a weird time. It was kind of that 2018, 2019 time, right before the pandemic.
Sure.
And once that hit, it kind of held everything up, because they quit processing the 5013Cs and stuff, and it kind of held us up for a little while. But after that, and then lucky as we are, we get everything rolling, and we hit a recession. It's hard to get people to donate right now, but
right.
We're slowly but surely getting it done.
So for those folks listening that may not know what veterans kayak fishing is and about, like, why don't you give them a quick rundown on that?
Yeah. So what veterans kayak fishing's goal is to get veterans, first responders, and their families out on the water, out in nature, somewhere where it's calm, so they can kind of get away from all the stuff that they may or may not be going on in their head, or whatever they may be dealing with in life, whether it be job related, or home related, or whatever, and get them out there in a calm environment and fish with them. And like, none of us are like counselors or anything, but we're there to listen or talk or whatever they want to do, and it's just kind of to help them get through whatever, and get them into something that actually has helped me, and I know it's helped Clay a lot, just getting out and fishing and slowing down in life. And that's our goal, is to help veterans in that way. The ones that suffer from PTSD and stuff like that. I feel like just being in moving water and stuff like that helps them, and that's our goal.
Yeah, man, it's huge. I know I've done podcasts with Clay before, and talking about it, and it's amazing how healing that could be, right? I think a lot of us take for granted those trips out on the water, and what it actually does for us mentally and physically, right? Like, it's
Right. Yep.
usually a good workout, if you're paddling, especially in the river, but for those veterans and first responders, man, that may be experiencing some stuff, it seems like just getting them out there on the water in nature just helps heal, so to speak.
Yeah, it does. And the way we try to do it is take them out in a smaller group setting, no more than like 2 veterans at a time, 2 or 3. And then we'll have, a few of us, like 2-to-1 ratio for veterans of guides that are taking them out. and we're just getting them out on the water, and they may catch fish, they may not catch fish. Like I said, we're not all expert fishermen, but we know about where they are, and we'll try our best to get them on some. But it's mainly the goal is just to get them out there and get them fishing. So
Yeah, right on, man. No, that's huge, huge, and thank you for your service, man, and
thank
all
you.
your guys down there as well, man. It's a pretty admirable thing what you guys do. So,
Thank you.
no, man, it's super unique, and I know there's programs like this kind of scattered all throughout the United States, and it's good to see some folks, veterans helping veterans, and not only that, but some kind of backbone for the veteran community to fall back on, and I think
Yep.
that's something that unfortunately is not as well taken care of as it should be in our country. You know what I mean? Not to
Yeah,
get
in
all
some aspects,
political
yeah.
on
Oh yeah,
everybody,
no, yeah,
but
yeah.
but no, super cool, man. Kudos to you guys for what you guys do, and it's super cool to see the outings, see the photos. I know I got a few of them in the intro there, and I
Oh
saw
yeah, I saw those.
I saw you kind of smiling at a couple of them as they were coming through. So
Yeah, yeah, those are cool, man. Thanks.
uh I knew this was coming. Clay has been ragging on me to get down to Georgia forever. So
Hey, come on down, man. We'd love
I
to have
need
you down here
to.
to fish.
I need to. I need to. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I thought maybe this summer when I was going down for ICAST I could make it work, and it was just like, man, I was a road warrior, I didn't even have time to stop, and we had
Yeah.
certain things we had to get accomplished on the way down. But soon, my man, soon.
I was actually up in your neck of the woods in January of this past year.
Okay.
I was up there. I fished on. I can't remember the name of the river now. Garrett can probably chime in. It's there in Tennessee near. Oh man, I just drew a blank.
I'm further north.
I'll think of it. I'll tell you. Yeah.
But,
I was down
yeah.
near. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it now. It's
like
close to Murfreesboro. It's close to Murfreesboro. The river that goes through there. It starts with an S, I think.
Stones River, he's saying.
Yeah, that's it. The Stones River. Yep. That's it. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Nice.
Just drew a blank. Yeah, I fished on it some. It wasn't that great in the wintertime in January. It was pretty cold out there, so I didn't catch much. But I was out there, all bundled up. But I got that. I got the unlimited out there and fished some. It was fun.
Nice.
It's a nice river.
Yeah. I've never personally floated it. I know I got a couple friends that are in like the Nashville area that usually get over and fish it quite a bit, and I know it could produce some really, really nice fish for sure.
Yeah. The last time we were up north, we were fishing that tournament up there. And, man, ooh, that was a rough one, man. That wind that second day, God Almighty, I didn't know if I was gonna make it out of there.
Yeah. Del Hollow could chew you up and spit you out real quick. That is for sure.
It did all of us, man. We got beat up bad. But it was a fun tournament. I enjoyed it. That's a nice lake. I mean, just the bluff walls everywhere. It was beautiful up there. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've for this year coming up, we've actually pushed that back a little bit. So it'll be like end of April. So it should be right around the spawn. The air temp should be a lot warmer. So we're hoping this year is super nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it this year. I didn't get a chance to last year. I had my son was playing. He's gotten into baseball and stuff, so he's doing travel ball and stuff like that. So
nice.
So I'm gonna try to make it.
Dad's retirement plan. It sounds like.
I hope so. He's only 8. We got a lot of work to do.
Hey, we got time.
Yeah, that's right. We got time.
I like it, man. So down in your area, like I know you mentioned the one river. Like, what's your go-to when you're going out fishing, man?
So down here we got the Oconee River. Right, I mean, it runs right through Milledgeville, and there's a few good spots there. There's some rocky areas and stuff like that. And there's actually a good bit of spotted bass and largemouth bass, and Altamaha bass are in there. So you can find some of them. I very rarely catch those, but they are in there. And there's some hybrids in there too. Yeah. So It's a pretty cool area. I think there's some hybrid shoal bass. I've never caught a 100% shoal bass on the Oconee, but I've caught some hybrids. And I mean, they could be coming way far down because they'll travel down in the Altamaha and come back up and stuff like that. So because they're not native to that river, and I've never caught a actual shoal bass. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you're out shoal bass fishing, what's your go-to? You tossing? What are you tossing at them?
So I typically throw. I have a little ball head jig with a little like a 2.5 to 3 inch swim bait on it.
Sure.
And that's really good in around those rocks, like a chatterbait and or a crawl, some type of crawl on a swing head jig. Those work really good for them. Sometimes you got to get down, down on the bottom in that water column because they'll get under those rocks and sit. So if you can't get in front of them, I ain't gonna hit it. But they're aggressive, man. They're aggressive fish, and they're fun to catch.
Well, that's what I've heard. Is they're real similar to a smallmouth, but they almost fight more, right?
Man, you'll get a 15-inch fish. It feels like it's 3 pounds. I mean, it's 3 or 4 pounds. I mean, they just fight really hard. They pull straight down, and they're a lot of fun to catch.
Nice. I dig it. What's your typical rod setup going for on that? And then after that, we'll follow that up with like how are you drifting / anchoring in the river when you're actually fishing them, like setup of the boat?
Yeah. So the rods I typically throw, I like the SLX rods.
Okay.
I don't have a whole lot of high-end rods, but those SLXs for the money, you can't beat them. I mean, they're good rods. They got a good sensitive feel to them. And I typically throw Shimano reels too. I like those a lot. I got a couple of Daiwas.
Nice.
Usually a medium to a medium heavy is what I'm running. When I'm throwing the smaller baits, I'll throw a medium and then, a medium heavy for most everything else.
Sure.
And then far as how I'm anchoring, I have an Anchor Wizard mount on the back.
Okay.
And I use the Anchor Wizards on the back and front. On the front, I kind of got a little, it's a little bootleg setup I made. I don't really have an Anchor Wizard on the front because I found out that they make a lot of noise when they drop, and I like them, the actual mount. And I just use the ball anchors. I can't remember what they're called now.
The bomb or something like that.
Yeah, the bomb anchors. Yeah. I use those. And like I have the actual Anchor Wizard chute on the back because I don't use it as much unless I'll sometimes tie a drag chain on it and drop it out.
Okay.
Trying to go slower. But typically I just have a ball back there. And then in the front, I have the same thing, but I took one of the little eyelets that come on the NuCanoe boats.
Mm-hmm.
That come on like the older ones that come on the F12 or whatever.
Sure.
Where you can just kind of run stuff through. And I just screwed it down right there on top of the grab handle in the front. And I just dropped my anchor through that. And then I got a piece of thick Kydex that I kind of heated up, molded to the side of the boat so it didn't rub a hole in my boat. And it's just double-sided tape on there, and it stays. It didn't go anywhere. And it lets the anchor drop real close to the boat, and it stays right there near the nose. So it doesn't make a lot of noise either.
So are you kind of drifting, or is that kind of keeping you like legitimately anchored in the moving water?
Oh, it'll keep me legitimately anchored. Yeah, I can stop. If I need to stop and face a certain way, I'll drop one off the front, and I'll swing around where I want and drop the one on the rear and maybe fish that area for a few. But if I'm drifting, I'll use a chain or something. I have a drag chain too.
Okay. So for those that might not know what a drag chain is, kind of run us through that setup, man. Like how you're rigging that up and what's the kind of concept behind that?
Well, like I said, I don't use it a whole lot, but when I do use it, it's you just get a piece of thick chain, heavy chain, like a logging chain.
Yep.
And a lot of people I just have mine taped up just to keep it from hanging on stuff. I use like Gorilla Tape, but you can take like a bicycle tire or something and heat shrink it over it, the inside of a bicycle tire.
Sure.
Cut it and kind of heat it up and it'll shrink down over it. Or you can use, I couldn't find any heat shrink big enough to fit over it. So you could use that bicycle tire and just keeps it from snagging on stuff, the hoops from snagging on sticks and stuff like that. But it just allows you to have something behind you that kind of slows you down when you're going down river, and allows you to fish and you're not, flying down river. And it kind of keeps your keel pointed straight down river where you're not drifting everywhere.
I like it. Yeah, it's it's interesting, man. Like I've never personally used a drag chain. I've seen guys use them and things like that, and it's always a different technique that you may not see up here in my area, but you definitely seem to see it down south, especially in the the Rocky rivers down there. It seems like a lot of guys are using it, dragging those through the
Yeah.
rocks just to kind of slow them down so they can hit all those points along the shoreline.
Yeah, because if you get in the areas where there's a lot of down trees and stuff like that, in some certain rivers, you'll get hung up on stuff like that. But in the rocks, it's not as bad, and it's really those the bomb anchors are pretty heavy. They're like I think 5 pounds, so you're not going to drag it too much.
Sure.
You drop it, it pretty much stops you. But yeah, like I said, I don't use it a lot, but I haven't used it actually in a while. But I have used one before. I like them; they work good.
Nice. I dig it, man. I know a couple buddies that got them, and I've been toying around with some other anchors currently, but especially with drifting in the rivers up here. Because when I'm out on the lake, I'm like you. I got an XI3, so I'll just if it's windy and I need to be anchored, that spot lock does wonders, man.
Oh yeah. I actually had gotten rid of mine. I sold it to Clay. He's using it now, but I'm eventually going to get a. I want to get
The Newport.
the pivot drive.
The pivot drive. Okay.
Not the pivot. I'm sorry. The motor system. The EPS drive.
Yeah.
The new EPS system. Yeah. I just gotta get another battery and stuff like that. So
Sure.
that's something I'm looking at getting in the future. But yeah, I like those because I think I can actually use that in the river. Whereas you're not going to use an XI3 in some of those rocky rivers. At least
Right.
the pivot drive or the
XI3.
EPS will kick up. Yeah, it'll kick up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I've run mine in the river here, just because you could have that motor head almost right tight to like the bottom of your boat,
Right. Yeah.
And then yeah, like you're saying, if you go over a log or something, it'll quick
Just kick it
release
up.
up and go right over the top of a log, and it'll chew through some weeds too, man. I've put that to the test for sure. But yeah, it's super nice because now you don't have to really worry about a takeout point. You can motor back up river, or you
Right.
put in and motor up and drift down, vice versa. So
Yeah.
it's definitely nice because it gives you that option for sure.
Yeah, my buddy Greg got one on his unlimited, and he was motoring all over the lake, all over the river last time we fished. So I was sitting there looking at him, real jealous over there paddling so hard. But it's fun. I think it is a nice rig.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Mike Schmitz is in the chat. He says, I just got done using an unlimited in the Gulf, and it was sure nice to have. Way better than my XI3 would have been done when I hit an oyster bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I bet that'll chew up a prop real quick.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
well,
awesome, man. That's awesome. But real cool, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on tonight, taking a little time away from the family, especially on your birthday, man. I definitely
oh man.
appreciate you working with me and rescheduling because of my mishaps last week. But
Hey man, you get sick, it's hard to do anything, especially with that stuff, man. I'm just glad you're feeling better.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Where could if folks want to kind of check out veterans kayak fishing, where can they go check that out? And then where can guys and gals follow you on the old social medias and stuff, man?
I'm on Instagram. It's under SPREYN, or you just look my name up, Steven Reynolds. It's SPREYN 1024 on Instagram, and then or just you can just type my name in, and then same thing on Facebook. Steven Reynolds is under my name, and then Veterans Kayak Fishing is VKF.com. VeteransKayakFishing.com. I'm sorry.
Right on. Right on. Very cool, man. Well, everybody, I encourage you guys to go check that out. The good folks at Veterans Kayak Fishing. If you get help out with a donation or something, I'm sure they would definitely appreciate it. They're always looking for some help, man, and they're doing some great things for some veterans, and which is important. So, oh, there you go. Catherine's got your back, man.
That's right.
VKF.
VKFUSA.org. My bad. Oh, man.
And veteranskayakfishing.com. So,
yes. Yeah. And that one. Yeah. That's right.
If you guys are listening on the podcast platforms later in the audio version, I will drop those links in the chat or in the show description for you guys. If you guys could be so kind to go check those guys out and what they're doing. And Catherine said she's always got your back, man.
Tell it. Thank you, Catherine.
Don't tell me to tell her. You tell her.
I tell her. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. I knew I had one of them right.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you tonight and just talking the good word of fishing and what a little bit about what you do and what you've done, man. It's super cool what you guys do, and I definitely appreciate you guys very, very much, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I hope to see you in April. Good talking to you.
Yeah. You guys come on down, man. If you I can give you guys some juice this year. I'll give you some juice. I'll send you some spots. They're not going to be very good spots, but there's some spots. I'll give you what I got. I'll give you what I got.
Right. I got you. That sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Right on, man. Thanks, everybody that tuned in tonight. We appreciate you. We're normally here Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Oh, dude, see, I've been out of the loop. I almost forgot the most important question. Garrett reminded me before we quit this. We'll end on this note. So you could tell I've been off for a couple of weeks because I completely forgot about this. But you got a tandem F12 rigged up. You can go fishing with anybody for a day, dead or alive. Who's it going to be?
Dead or alive? Who would it be? That's easy. That's easy. It'd be my granddad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
He's no longer with us, but if I could go with anybody, it would be him. And if it was a famous person, I would probably want to hang out with. You ever heard of Bert Kreischer?
Oh, yeah.
The comedian? Yeah. I think he would be fun to fish with. I think it would be a fun experience to fish with that guy. We might not be able to stay in the boat because he's a pretty big guy, but I think he would be fun.
Well, he's very animated too, you know.
Oh yeah. He probably flips us out of the boat for sure.
You think he'd be fishing with his shirt on or off? Because when he does his comedy sets, he's always got his shirt off.
I know. I would imagine it would be off, but it's funny enough. I could deal with it.
I like it. That was the first time I think we had a comedian come up, man. But Kreischer, man, I've been watching some of his podcasts. Really good stuff, man.
That guy. Yeah. Which one? The Two Bears, One Cave.
I've been watching the Burt cast. He just did one with Dane Cook this week. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It
was
really
that
good.
Guy was still alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was really good. I would highly recommend checking it out. And if you guys haven't seen any Burt Kreischer's comedy, man, it's top notch. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, go check out that Two Bears, One Cave. That it's him and Tom Segura. They do one together. It's really, really funny, man.
Nice.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
I dig it. Right on, man. Thanks, Garrett, for saving my butt. I completely forgot about that. So I got to get back into the groove, man. I've been off a little bit here. So, but we're here every Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Tonight was just kind of a special occasion because my man couldn't get on till Thursday. So, again,
football
Steve,
practice.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I hope you have a happy birthday. Enjoy the rest of your evening with your family. And I hope you guys are doing well and just keep on trucking and living the good life, brother.
Hey, man, thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you.